Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope everyone will have a wonderful Shabbos. This week's Erev Shabbos video Dvar Torah is sponsored by Sandra Salman Palevsky in memory of her mother, Riva Batsheva Bat Aharon Visara, whose yahrzeit was observed this week. Her neshama should have an aliyah, and we thank Sandy for the sponsorship. Thank you very much. In addition, the Erev Shabbos video Dvar Torah is also meant to be a zechus, a merit, for all of us who are listening and thinking about these words of Torah, for the hostages that remain in Gaza. Today's 581. We daven for their well-being and their speedy rescue or release, as well as we daven for the protection of all soldiers who are fighting, for their success, for the healing of all those who have been injured, and for the protection and blessings for all of Israel. In the second of this week's two parshas, Parshas Kedoshim, it is a parsha full of so many different mitzvos. There seems to be just a laundry list of mitzvos, and especially in the beginning of the parsha, every 5 or 6 psukim there is a refrain. The Torah will present a handful of mitzvos and then conclude that mini section, Ani Hashem, I am the Lord, or Ani Hashem Elokechem, I am the Lord your God. Then we'll have another 5 or 6 psukim with 5 or 6 mitzvos, and again, Ani Hashem, etc. What is this stress? Why does Hashem continuously say, and I am Hashem, Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, I am the Lord? And so Rashi has different interpretations based on the context of each of these phrases, what mitzvos it comes close to. But there's one interpretation that Rashi quotes from the Medrash several times throughout the Torah, and that is Ani Hashem, Ani Hadayan Lihipareya, V'ne'eman L'shalim Schar. After presenting the mitzvos, do not offer a sacrifice to another god. Do not take revenge against another person. Leave the corner of the field for the poor person. After each mitzvah, say, and Ani Hashem, you should know, I am Hashem, Nem Hadayan Lipareya, I am the judge who will punish those who violate the law, V'nem al L'shalim Schar, and I am trustworthy. You can rely on me to pay the reward, to give the reward for those who fulfill these mitzvos. Our Erev Shabbos video of our Torah this year has been about Emuna, belief and faith in Hashem, and one of the Acharei Emuna, one of the 13 fundamental principles of our faith Hashem is the belief in schar ve'onish, reward and punishment. That even though we are not meant to be ideally primarily motivated by a potential reward or punishment, but we believe that Hashem is a just God, a fair God, a true God, and therefore every person based on their actions will be rewarded, and if necessary and appropriate, sometimes punished. And we cannot forget about that, the seriousness, the consequences of our actions, both in terms of potential punishment, and we'll focus also on the reward. Rashi, again, quoting the Medrash, says, Ani Hashem neman l'shalim schar. I am Hashem and I am trustworthy. You can rely on me, believe me, that I will ultimately grant you reward for every good deed that you do. This language is similar to the one found in a very famous Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Rabbi Tarfon says, Hayom katsar, the day is short, v'amlacha meruba, and the work is great. Hapolim atzilim v'aschar harbe, and the workers are lazy, but the reward is great. Lo alecha hamalacha ligmor, you are not expected to finish the work. V'lo ata ben choron lipata mimana, but neither are you free to ignore it. V'neman hu ba'al melachtecha, she'ashalim schar pilasecha, and your boss, the owner of the field, is reliable, trustworthy, that he will ultimately pay you for your work. V'da shematan scharan shel sadikim la'asilava, we should know that the reward for the righteous will primarily be in the world to come. There were those who doubted, there were those who rejected the belief that Hashem rewards and punishes. This was a fundamental principle of Judaism, that Hashem does reward and punish. There is schar v'onish, both on a national level and also on an individual level. However, we must ask, why is it that sometimes we do not seem to see a fair distribution of reward and punishment in this world? Why is it that it will only be in the world to come that the scales of justice will make sure that everyone gets exactly what they deserve? There's, of course, more than one answer to this question, but this Mishnah teaches us implicitly a very interesting approach of how to think about this. The mashal, the parable in this Mishnah, is that Hashem is the owner of a field and he has hired us as workers to work that field. Of course, no worker could be expected to harvest the entire field for the entire season, but you are hired for this day and you have a job to do this day. And when this day is done, even though Hayom Kasar is a short day, our lives are short, when the day is done, you will be paid. In other words, the Nimshal, our lives are compared to one day of work for Hashem. We are working in the world of Hashem, in the fields of Hashem, and we cannot do the whole job to complete all of Jewish destiny from Har Sinai until Mashiach, but we are hired for one lifetime, one day, and that is our job. And just as a worker in a field would not expect to be paid after every tree that he picks the fruit from that tree, or after every square cubit of grain that he cuts down. Your job is to work for a day, and when you have successfully completed that, of course, you'll be rewarded. And what that lesson teaches us is, the perspective that teaches us, is that even though maybe it is true that Hashem will reward based on every single good deed, but we are not here to do this good deed or that good deed or 100 good deeds. We are here, we were hired for a job for a day's work. A day meaning a lifetime. When a person passes away, they have created this story, this lifetime, this unique reflection, this unique expression of Torah and mitzvos, of faith, of the Masorah in this person's lifetime. And when a person passes away, they present to Hashem this corpus of work, this lifetime of Torah and mitzvos. That was our job, to live a life of Torah and mitzvos. And so, of course, when that is done, when our job is done, we will be rewarded. Hashem guarantees it. But to be expected to be rewarded before that time is like the worker asking to be rewarded for every bundle that he carries. That's not how it works. You are rewarded fairly and generously when the day's work is done. Similarly, a person will be rewarded fairly and generously when their lifetime of work is to be done. We are all supposed to feel, to have Emuna Shlema, to live our lives as Rebi Tarfon taught in this Mishnah. We are workers of Hashem. We are here, and the time is short. Hayom katzar v'hamalacha meruba. We are here not just to do that mitzvah or this mitzvah. We are here to create a life story of Torah mitzvos, a unique life story that only each of us can do. And then when we have completed that masterpiece, of course, we will be rewarded. And that is what Hashem is saying over and over in Parshas Kedoshim. Ani Hashem Elokeichem. That when the job is done, when you have lived an entire lifetime, you can rely on me, you can trust me. Neman l'shalem sechar. Neman, who, as the Mishnah paragraph says, Baal Malachtecha, the owner of the field is trustworthy. We believe him, we trust him, we have Emuna. Sheishalim schar pulasecha, that he will fairly and generously reward us for our life's work. Everyone should have a good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.